Thomas in New York here, and the official 9/11 memorial at the World Trade Center is a fitting tribute to the lives lost on a date that will be remembered sadly by those who lived through New York City's darkest moments. There are memorials to those people across the country, and there's even one here in the New York City subway station. On a series of tiles on this subway corridor, as you could see, I'm at the Union Square 14th Street station. And you can see that the wall has simple office mailing labels that were placed. Each label is printed with a name, a city, and state, and a date, September 11th, 2001. There is a label for each person perished on that fateful day. Now, the memorial, in New York City, it's it's passed by numerous of times, and many people just don't notice it. It's a quiet memorial. It avoids the grandiose patriotism, but because of the names of it, it does not forget the suffering and the trauma that Americans experienced. This memorial remembers. So this is located just past the station's police precinct along the corridor. And it connects the Q, the R, the W, and the N trains to the 4, 5, and 6 trains. And this is where you'll find this wall. Thousands upon thousands of casualties of the September 11th attacks on the Twin Towers. Now, through the efforts of the Manhattan-based nonprofit organization Art Aid, this memorial has been reminding passersby since March of 2002 that the lives of nearly 3,000 people were tragically cut short on a beautiful late summer day with the bluest of blue skies. I remember that day vividly as I was, going to college right across. You could see everything in Brooklyn. That's where I was. You look at the metaphor, and it could be thought of. You look at this memorial, rather, and it can be thought of as a metaphor of life. As with life, it is temporary, with a beginning and an end. If you look at this wall, as you could see, the time has not been kind to it. Some labels are missing. Perhaps they have been purposely removed or fallen away, or they somehow have disappeared as I'm looking at it. Others have just been faded or blackened. Still others have been annotated with a cross or another way. There are markings on some of these labels. To give you a backtrack, during that time, the location, Union Square, I think is very appropriate. Immediately following the attacks on and the collapse of the Twin Towers, city authorities back then, they had closed down the Manhattan Island south of 14th Street as the largest public space closest to Ground Zero. Union Square will become a gathering place for New Yorkers. over the next several days, makeshift memorials of candles, flowers, and other expressions of grief were arranged in Union Square. Now, when they were removed, this memorial took their place as a way to remember the important role that the area played in the city's grief. Remember that day vividly. Like I mentioned, I was going to college. I was taking a class on Islam, believe it or not. The class was in the barrels of the school library as the actual school was getting a makeover. We were expanding, and we were down there deep in the library. No cell phone reception, if you even had a cell phone back then. It was one of those classes that was an hour and a half long. Long story short, I get out of the class. School seems to be completely empty. I walk outside, and people are gathered. You heard about what had happened, and we just walk a block up, and that was, I believe, I want to say Atlantic Avenue, no, but I forget what it was, what street that is. But if you look to your left, you see the Brooklyn Bridge, and you see this vast amount of people walking the bridge. They evacuated the Twin Towers, the downtown Manhattan area, and they were walking across the bridge home or to safety, wherever they were going. Very surreal. Didn't know anything until I stepped outside of that day. Very sad. After 9/11, immediately after 11, when the United States felt together, that very next day, for about a week, where everyone stood side by side. I will leave you here in these last few minutes, just absorbing, just to look how this memorial looks. It's, again, passed by a lot of commuters. I stood here and observed, and a lot of people didn't even know that this does exist. New Yorkers always just on the move, on the go, right? And sometimes we have to slow down and just take in our surroundings and just observe what's going on. I hope all is well. And I wish you guys the very best. I bid you adieu.